I seriously cannot believe they did it again! What do you mean you can't believe it? They've been doing it all the time! Well, not all the time. Well, it definitely feels like it! Wait, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? Say it on 3. 1, 2, 3. Winning hockey games! Right! Oh, so we are on the same page. Let's go! Ladies and gentlemen, it's a little ridiculous. Good boy. Play all the hits! Left Toronto Maple Leafs. Let me finish. How am I supposed to go to bed after watching that? I'm quite hyped. With you wherever you are, welcome to LFR. Victory puppies, buddy! They don't ask how, they ask how many. They didn't blow a 3-1 lead. Shut up. Sure, Leafs win 4-3 in the shootout over the Anaheim Ducks. Okay, all right. I tell you what. We'll just take that one. No, why not? Why not? Why not? Well, I'll tell you why not, Devil's Advocate. This is factual. This is not a vendetta. This is factual. Out of the Leafs' last 7 games, they've blown a 3-1 lead, at least a 3-1 lead, in 5 of those games. And they only lost 2 of them in regulation because sports are hilarious. But I tell you what, here's why we don't worry about that one. It's still funny to note, but here's why we don't worry about it. All the same issues apply. And by same issues, I mean one major issue. They are garbage in front of their own net. Like, really, really bad. But something about the Leafs finally being back home in front of their not fans really drives home the point that this is not normal. It is not normal that the Leafs are essentially playing 2 games a week. Now, obviously, that is going to end very soon, but the more that this little stretch plays out, the more I realize, oh, they're just playing like it's the beginning of the season. What happens every year at the beginning of the season? Besides stuff like the refs saying, oh yeah, we're gonna call that, and then they stop by Halloween. No, I mean like the players on the ice that you pay to see. Scoring goes up because the skill is there. They've been working on these skills all summer. But the defense, league-wide, is garbage. All summer long, you can work on your wrist shot, your slap shot, your one-timers, your skating, your stick handling. Who is practicing defensive structure? Like NHL caliber defensive structure. Skating helps. All that helps for sure. But you're not with your entire team. They go away. Hey man, I know it's the end of July, but I was wondering, do you want to work on the penalty kill together? I would, but it's 4 a.m. in Stockholm right now. But here's the most important part and the part where I let the Leafs off the hook. For a team that is basically playing twice a week and blowing leads all the time, they're playing pretty well. Like, dude, look at this. There's James Myrtle pointing out the same thing. Not a game to worry about for the Leafs, and he takes a couple things from MoneyPuck.com. MoneyPuck.com has the hilarious deserved a win-o-meter. The Leafs win this game 91.4% of the time, based on a bunch of criteria like shots, scoring chances, etc. The expected goals in this game were 5.11 for the Leafs to 1.81 for the Ducks. How did this go to a shootout? And hilariously, the Ducks outscored the Leafs 3-0 at even strength because sports, they're terrible. They're terrible. And the best, but terrible. Son, how was your game tonight? Awful. I loved it. Yeah, that's healthy that we all do it as a planet. I still lost my voice. We don't have to spend a ton of time on this silly game because I think the story is very simple. Less than 3 minutes in, the Ducks scored, delete. The Leafs score, but it's awarded to the Ducks. Again, we're not going to hammer the Leafs too hard, but in front of their own net. What in the name of Timbits is this? Come on! Come on! I know this goal is a fluke accident, but come on! Pierre Engvall looking to clear the puck, fires it directly off Jason Spezza. That's a dang it. I hate to say it, it's a dang it. Right on time, I'm shooting the video tomorrow. Thanks, Pierre. I felt bad because of the look on his face. Oh yeah, that's a dang it. I did a dang it. I'm sorry. But it's okay because the Leafs have a chance to get on the board with the first power play of the game. Kidding! Timothy Liljegren becomes the first player in National Hockey League history to receive 2 minutes for concussing himself! Okay, admittedly, the play began hilarious. Liljegren has the puck. He's going to dump it in. The puck decides, I'm going this way now. Starts pretty simple. Liljegren has the puck in the neutral zone. He's going to dump it in, and the puck decides it's side quest time. Gotta get 100%, you know? And he whiffs because there's no puck there, but his legs just, they abandon him. What happens next is not hilarious. It's Timothy Liljegren falling face first into Trevor Zegras' leg, basically his knee. It's not the nicest thing to look at, but I think it's important to look at the screenshot, okay? Okay, do you see this? Do you see how Liljegren's upper body and lower body don't look like they belong to each other? And how his face is going directly into Zegras' knee, which is something nobody would ever intentionally do. Okay, so Zegras is 46, There's another duck in the picture. Do you see the guy behind the other duck? That's the official who called a tripping penalty on Lilligren. Try! I'm begging anyone to try! Dude was bleeding from the face and immediately left for concussion protocol and did not return to the game tripping. Oof. Oof. Make the refs talk after the game. Make the refs talk after the game. Make the refs talk after the game. Be a real league. Give it effort. I know we can't review everything, but what more evidence do you need? I know it's fast. I know it's hard in real time. What more do you need? He's bleeding from the face. He's leaving the game. Dude, tonight, there was a hit, a really unfortunate hit that you're probably going to see all over social media and everything. It's Taylor Hall hitting Nathan MacKinnon. Now, at first glance, it looks horrible. It looks like Taylor Hall just completely headshots Nathan MacKinnon. What actually happens is he sort of hits him in the shoulder and the hand, and MacKinnon, who has his stick up, whacks himself in the face with his own stick, and he's gushing from the nose. It's bad. They assess Taylor Hall with a 5-minute major. Understandably so if you watch it in real time. In real time, it looks horrible. But because it's a 5-minute major, they're able to review it, and they do the review. And they conclude, nope, we got it wrong. Here's the thing. They still got it wrong! Because supposedly, and I only learned this tonight, the rule is when you assess a 5-minute major and you review it and you want to withdraw the 5-minute major, you have to still give a 2-minute minor. So you've reviewed it, yeah? You've reviewed it. You want to make sure you get the call right. And what you discover through review is you got it wrong, which is the purpose of review. But you're not allowed to correct yourself! You're only allowed to half-correct yourself! What a league! Ah! Please try. Please. Anyway, Ducks fans wondering why I'm ranting so hard because the Leafs did end up scoring 3 power play goals, so I don't know. We can't call it even. The guy got a bloody face and a concussion, and they gave him a penalty. Oh. Anyway, after going down early in the first, the Leafs get 2 power play goals in quick succession at the end of the first. Now, there was an odd man rush earlier in this game where Mitch Marner has a very clear shot, and he passes to a very only sort of open teammate, and it's a flubbed opportunity. So me, being a very smart person, man, I tweeted this. I don't think Marner lacks confidence in his shot. I just think he legitimately enjoys setting teammates up more than scoring. It's not even a knock. It just feels like if he were more selfish, he'd put up 30. Now, I don't know if you know this, but a lot of Leaf fans don't like Marner. A lot of them really like Marner, but some of them don't. And I responded to one in particular that was like 30 goals. He's got a muffin. I tweeted, some fans are blinded with Marner, man. Marner scored 26 in his last 82-game season. I misspelled. Then he scored at a 22-goal pace, and last year he scored at a 29.8 goal pace. Let's call that 30, yeah? He's on pace for 25 right now. We know he can score because he scores! And I wish he'd shoot. Sure enough, on the power play, Riley to Marner, blammo, a one-timer cracker of a shot. He beats John Gibson in the game, is tied at 1. Marner's decided he likes this whole scoring on the power play thing. Listen, Matthews got 40 goals as a rookie, basically without a one-timer. Then he got one, and he became an even better goal scorer. William Nylander was a pretty good goal scorer, and then he got a one-timer, and he became an even better goal scorer. If Marner does the same, and listen, the last long little while, things have not gone well for Marner in terms of goal scoring on the power play, but he's going to get a lot of open looks because the Matthews bomb is on the other end of the ice. Who are you going to cover? Let's be honest. And this next play with less than a minute to go is another example of Marner being left wide open. But to me, the orchestrator of this is John Tavares. Tavares, I thought, had a sneaky, spectacular game. That move in overtime on Zegras was egregious. But with just under 40 seconds to go in the first period, barely over 20 seconds into the power play, Tavares has the puck behind the Ducks net. He goes to one side and slams on the brakes. And he's able to slam on the brakes harder than any Duck could. You know how I know? Look at the path to William Nylander in front. Oh! Here, this angle might be even better. Look at it. Oh! Tavares, man, I'm telling you, the little thing king sets up William Nylander, and it's 2-1 Leafs heading into the second, and nothing would ever go wrong again. At least that's how it felt in the second when the Leafs got another power play, and it's a two-man advantage because Naughty. I was looking for a screenshot to illustrate what the Leafs did right on this play, but it just made me feel bad for the Ducks. I mean, man, 5 really is a lot more than 3, huh? That's, wow. Marner to Tavares, and Tavares just rips it, but it's not even like a good shot by like Tavares' standards. Like, he's choked up way high on his stick, but he's John Tavares. Sometimes he makes goalies sad. Like this. Oh, that may be. Did you laugh? You're a bad person too then. You're fine. Leafs up 3-1, and they call a timeout. Huh? So, okay, it's... So this decision got, a lot of people farted on it. Leafs up 3-1, they have all the momentum, and they just made it 3-1 on a two-man advantage. So, that means this timeout, they get to keep the same group out because the Leafs now have a 5-on-4. A lot of people criticize the timeout because, well, the Leafs didn't score on that power play, and then the Ducks come out of the box, and on the ensuing rush out of the box, they score and make it 3-2. To me, that's not why the timeout was bad, because the Leafs almost scored on that 5-on-4. Mitch Marner rings one right off the post. He almost had 2 power play goals in the same game. And underratedly, the Leafs would have had 4. To me, it was a bad timeout because, dude, you already have 3 power play goals. You're fine. Timeout for what? To emphasize to keep doing what you're doing? What are you reinforcing? What are you teaching them? They're 3 for 3. They got it. Instead of the 4-1 stranglehold, or at least it would be for most teams, the Ducks get the puck. 3-2. Assist, by the way, to Sam Carrick, who used to be a Leaf. Kind of a journeyman, mostly playing in the minor leagues, but he's having somewhat of a breakout season with 8 goals. Sorry, that dude played games for the 14-15 and 15-16 Leafs. I have to shout him out. Like, come on, that guy did his time. Also part of the 2016 Marlies that should have won and didn't, and I'm sad. We've been through this third period. The Ducks tie it. We don't have to spend too much time on it, but it bears repeating. This in front of the net from Travis Dermott is not good enough, and I saw a lot of people trashing him. Dude, the whole team does this. It's not good enough. Look at this. Look at it. This isn't some beast. Lettieri is 5'11", 185 pounds, and Dermott's got his hands on him like... You ever move furniture with someone who's not helping? You're carrying it and they just sort of have their hands on the furniture. Move the furniture! Goodness gracious. Anyway, the game goes to overtime. Overtime ended because Boo really wanted Tavares to put Zegras on a poster. That would have been hilarious. Tavares really did almost end this guy's career after it had just begun, and then he just looked up at the Jumbotron and skated to the bench like with a bored face, like he's grocery shopping. That's my captain. I love my captain. Goes to the shootout, little Spezza dangle. Oh, Willie Snipe. And a Jack Campbell save, which brings us to our first question. Thoughts on Buddy, can't remember his name, shooting the puck in the net after Campbell saved it? First of all, that is Ricard Raquel, and I wish I could forget his name. The Leafs gave up the draft pick that the Ducks used to pick him. He's quite good at hockey. Could have used him for a long time. Anyway, I thought Jack Campbell had the best reaction to it. Why, I love him. I want this team to win so bad. I really do. It's not just because they're the Leafs. It's because most of them actually seem pretty cool. You'd hang out with Jack Campbell. I think we all need that kind of chill in our lives. Let's be honest, do most goalies react that way? Yeah, that happens to Jordan Binnington. That doesn't end up in a fight for his teammates. I mean, he's not gonna fight them. You know what I mean? New lines. Yay or nay? Well, they got outscored at 5-on-5. That's nay. But we didn't see enough of them, man. Honestly, that's kind of the wild thing about the Leafs just completely working the Ducks. What were the shots? 44-20? These were experimental lines. They have never used these ever, and the defense was a mess. Sorry, the defense was a mess, and for most of the game, there were only 5 of them. So, given the Leafs' staggered schedule, and the fact that the coaching staff basically treated this as a screw-around game, I want to see more of these lines before I judge them at all. My instinct is it makes me kind of uncomfortable Willie down on the third line. Kerfoot too. Let's be honest. Mikheyev's been hot, but Kerfoot has had a good season, and he's been great up on that line with Tavares and Nylander. This is just Keefe and company trying it out, and Nylander still got his cookies on the power play, and so did Tavares, and They won, didn't they? What 5 Pokemon would you have be your starting lineup? Okay, I haven't played Pokemon for a very long time, but I'm going to try. Now, I'm going to go back to my Pokemon Blue days. I know there's like 900 Pokemon now. I do not have time for that. We're at the original 150. What, you're not gonna have Spartafart? No, I don't acknowledge Spartafart or whatever their stupid names are. All the new ones are dumb. The original ones, those aren't dumb. Those are normal names. You know, Eakins and Arbok and how they're, you know, Snake and Cobra. Did you know? Backwards, flip it. Missy Elliott. Many of you will choose Bulbasaur as your starting Pokemon. That is because you are wrong. Many of you will choose Charmander as your starting Pokemon. That is because you are more wrong and influenced too easily by the cartoon. Starting Pokemon, Squirtle. He turns into Wartortle, and then Blastoise. You can teach him Surf, which is useful later in the game, and ice attacks such as Ice Beam. Ice attacks in the original games, especially in Pokemon Blue, are disproportionately effective against Pokemon types. This isn't my first time answering this question. Second, you're gonna ride a Pidgeot until you can get Articuno. Why? Because a Pidgeot can fly, and so can Articuno. The difference? Articuno is a legendary Pokemon who can use ice attacks. That's right, you're learning. Number 3, Diglett. That's right, Diglett, who turns into Dugtrio. Dugtrio can use Dig, which is a surprisingly effective attack and one of the most annoying things in the game because you can't hit me, I'm underground! Also, do you have electric attacks? Doesn't affect me. I'm made of ground, apparently, despite clearly being a mammal. Number 4, Bellsprout into Weepinbell into Victory Bell. You don't need to reinvent the wheel here. You don't need to overcomplicate this, kids. Get a plant type that you can get early in the game, train early, get up to a high level, and teach poison attacks and cut. And number 5, Mewtwo. It's freaking Mewtwo. Psychic, 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 you win. I'd be surprised if you used it 3 times. Last but not least, this is not a question, but pause and breathe. There's a good reason they don't just call off a game when one team is up by a couple. Rallies happen. We weathered the storm. You deserve to have nice things! Matt? Thank you. So, that is it for this one. Thank you very much for watching. Click like if you liked this video. Click subscribe if you really liked it. Please, it really helps me out. And tell all your friends, brand new Steve Dangle podcast on the SDPN YouTube channel and on Spotify and wherever the podcast is. We had Liz Knox and Karel Amard on. That's Noxie and Cax, the new show that we're bringing to SDPN about women's hockey, backed by the PWHPA. Oh, I've already heard a couple demo episodes. It's going to be real good, and the first episode drops tomorrow. You can already check it out on Spotify. We have an interview with Jana Heffert from the PWHPA.